So, it has been 1 year since I moved to Puerto Rico, and it has been an amazing year. And so, I wanted to share a little bit about why I moved to Puerto Rico. Probably everybody that I meet when they find out that I live in Puerto Rico, whether they are locals or people I meet out when I'm traveling, always ask me what made me move to Puerto Rico. And a lot of times it's in a setting where it's, just quick conversation. And so for those types of conversations, I'm usually just say, my company that I work with, we'd been here 6 times in a year and a half. And I just felt like it was just, I was here so much, I should just move here. I love it here. And, and that's partially true. But in actuality, the real reason why I decided really firmly to make that move was my 6th time coming and returning back to Arizona, where I'm from. I just was felt a little displaced. I just was kind of tired of traveling, which was crazy because I loved traveling. I love traveling, but I just kind of gotten worn out with it. I just wanted to be somewhere. And so spending time with God and praying, just saying, what's next? I'm feeling a little uneasy. And, I really believe he said to put your roots down, go to Puerto Rico. And so when he said that, I felt like, okay, well, that just, I need to just stay planted for a while, stop traveling, have a home to put my roots down. And so I talked to my boss about it right away, and he was very supportive. They actually live here now too, but that's a whole other story. And they were super supportive. And so within days of making that decision, just so many things happened after I gave my yes, that just even I, made that decision a couple days after coming back. And then a couple days later was my birthday, in which I went to the Grand Canyon to watch the sunrise on my birthday. It was incredible. But the greatest gift I got was having communication with my little nephew that I hadn't talked to in a year for certain reasons. So it was the greatest gift, and I just saw just so much confirmation that I believe was from even just obedience and making that decision. And so, does anybody else like putting pillows on their lap? I do. It's my thing. And so making the decision to come here, and I sold everything that I own, put all my life in 2 suitcases, and God provided every single one of my needs and then some. And what I didn't realize though is what he meant by having my roots go down deep wasn't so much about planning a home, but it was more about me and my identity and my roots going down into him. Because when I first came to Puerto Rico, I experienced loneliness for the first time in a long time, or really ever to that extent, because I'd been ripped away from my family, my friends, my community, things that you're just so used to, like grocery stores and just things that make you feel so comfortable. And so I experienced loneliness that honestly within the first month I contemplated on just packing up and going back to Phoenix, because that is what would be comfortable to me, and it would ease this uneasiness in me. But what I learned during that time was that, I knew it was where God had brought me, was that, learning who I am, what's really important to me, who I am in Christ. And so much growing has happened in the past year. And not to say that I wasn't growing before I came, but it was just, he knew that I needed that time to really figure out who I am. And what I noticed even just recently, sometimes you don't realize how something has changed so much until you're doing something to compare it to. And so, I realize how much I've just become being opposed to performing. I'm just myself. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I am comfortable with how God made me and the passions and the purpose he's put in me. And I think the whole comparison thing has gone, I think I used to compare myself a lot to others, and so now I'm realizing just how much just being and how effortless it is, and it doesn't come with the weight of like expectation, or it's just light, if that makes sense. And it helps me too to celebrate others successes, celebrate where other people are at. And I mean, but really happy for them, not just saying, oh yeah, I'm happy for you, and inside you're not. But really genuinely celebrating with them and being happy for them. And then also it's helped me to have grace and compassion for where others are still in a different part of their process. We're all in a process, and we're all in different parts, and there's different focuses going on at a certain time. But just having that grace and that compassion for where people are at, that's come from this whole experience too. And so I don't even think, within my first 5 months, I didn't really have any friends here, or like, I had friends from, the New York where I dance and stuff, and they really did help me get through those times of just having interaction with people, and I love them to death. But like, I would say it was the first 5 months that really allowed me to really connect even with them, and brought my new friend Shirley, and just the fitness community and salsa community, like. But it took those 5 months, I think, that, God just kind of kept me separated in some ways to build me up in Him, which made me build myself up in who I am. And so it has been an incredible year. I still don't know exactly what the future holds, how long I'm going to be here. I'm not giving any deadlines to that. I'm kind of just, not holding on to plans so tightly, which was a word that I had heard from somebody recently. But making plans, but not holding on to them completely tight. And so, yeah, if you're curious, that is how it's been. And so, if there's anything that's on your heart, or maybe God's been encouraging you to do, or maybe even just try, or, step out, because there's so much on the other side. And although, growth can be a little painful because it's different, it's uncomfortable, and you're going somewhere you've never been, it brings a little bit of anxiety. It's so completely worth it. So completely worth it. And so, yeah, thanks for listening this long. And that was my first year in Puerto Rico.